Again, my name is David Hyman. I'm coming at you live from very rainy and stormy Austin, Texas. Agenda for today is first things first, the 7-Eleven walkthrough agenda. So we are going to take a look at Sugar's brand new UI, which in my humble opinion is one of their best updates in years. One of the other key features of the new 7-Eleven is the actionable drill through, which we're going to walk through. Charts and dashlets are much more interactive in 7-Eleven, and we're going to walk through that, as well as the product catalog dashlet, which is something that was oft requested, and it allows you to, from the intelligence pane on the quotes create page, be able to navigate the product catalog from the sidecar. So with that said, a little bit about Fay BSG, and then we will dive right into the live walkthrough. We've got, from my understanding, 20 minutes for today, but I think I will be able to give most of that back to you. After the walkthrough, we'll have a live Q&A, answer as much as we can about 7-Eleven, and if there are no questions that you have, anything that you can send over, you want me to answer while we're here, then I would be more than happy to. So that said, a little bit about Fay. Excuse me, 25 years of experience. We're one of SugarCRM's only American elite partners. We are located out of Woodland Hills, California, in the Valley of Los Angeles. We also have offices in Austin, Texas, which is where I am, Atlanta, Georgia, and another satellite office out in Philadelphia. Focuses on CRM and ERP largely. The Sugar is the only CRM with whom we are partnered. We have more than 500 customers. We've deployed Sugar for the vast majority of them, and excuse me, and continue to support almost 100 of our customers on an ongoing basis for Sugar CRM. That said, let's dive right over to Sugar and take a look at the new 7-Eleven. Now, most of you, if you are, let me escape first here from that. So here is the new Sugar 7-Eleven. So it's a brand new user interface. Most of you who are on the line, if you are evaluating Sugar, you would be on Sugar 7-Eleven as a new customer. Existing customers, if you are hosted in Sugar's on-demand environment, odds are you will have been upgraded by now, so this new interface may be familiar to you. And for any Sugar CRM customers that are hosted on-site, you will receive this update at the end of the year. So first things first, the first thing to pop out to you is a much more modern, refreshed UI. Excuse me. The font's been changed as well. Just as a quick comparison, by taking a look at the older interface, you'll see that all of this black and red up here has been replaced by white. The font's changed, the colors have changed for the charts. So going back over really quickly, this is back into 7-Eleven. What they've added here, in addition to just a much refreshed UI, which pops off the screen, it's really much more efficient, intuitive user experience across the board. And I'll show you a few areas to point that out. So in addition to just the new, the white and more modern user interface, one of the things that they've added is the actionable drill through. So the actionable drill through is something that was requested for years by Sugar customers, and what that's going to allow you to do, excuse me, if you scroll over any of these segments in any of these charts that are generated in these chart dashlets, if I click on that, I can get a list view of that segment directly, and it's going to pop down in a drawer a list view of all of the items that are in that particular segment. So if I scroll over here to the intelligence pane, you can see that this one with this segment with the lines through it is the segment I'm currently looking at. I've got a list view, so I can see all 13 of the opportunities that are in the support, that came from support portal user registration as a lead source. If I click preview, I can get more information from those about those particular opportunities. Preview pane's also in Sugar 7, but the sidecar has been refreshed and significantly decluttered, and we'll get into a little bit further detail when we're scrolling through the opportunities list view. But from the actual drill down, you've got a lot of options depending on which chart you're clicking through. For example, if I click on the leads by lead source, I'm able to get the list view. It's going to pop down from here, and I've also got options like being able to preview the lead, and I can also convert that lead from here. This lead's already been converted, so that option is not there. Let me cancel out of there and go to a new lead. And if I wanted to convert that lead, I'd be able to go through the entire conversion process from here. Looking through my duplicates, creating a new account, and creating an opportunity from the list view pop down off of my dashlet. The opportunities, excuse me, scrolling down, another example here, opportunities won by lead source. If I scroll down, they've changed a little bit here. I can now see the totals are going to be displayed inside the chart. If I scroll over to the older version and look at that exact same chart, you'll notice just a small difference there between the numbers being displayed, those totals for each one of those different sections. Here back in SugarCRM, excuse me, in 7-Eleven, you'll see that those numbers are there. Next thing, excuse me, so there's the actionable drill through. Really cool. So if we go back and look through, so from here, I can create, I can take a look at the actionable drill through for the opportunity is going to pop down. If it's a lead, it's going to pop down, allow me to convert the lead. And for opportunities, for example, I can also view the total amounts. Another thing that they've added to 7-Eleven is the ability to view the reports that are generating these charts directly from the dashboard. So if I quickly pop back over just for comparison's sake, if I click on the configure button here for the same chartlet, or excuse me, for the same dashlet, I don't see a view report option. Popping back over to Sugar 7-Eleven, I can see that I've got the option now to take me directly to that report. And now I can see all the information that's generating that chart. Next thing that they've added is the product catalog dashlet to creating quotes. So first, let's go to an opportunity and then to quotes. So here inside of 7-Eleven, we're looking at the list view for opportunities. And what I want to point out here is the difference when you click on preview and you are going through the preview pane. So here in Sugar 7, you can see that the sidecar's been significantly decluttered. Here for comparison, if I pull back up an older version of Sugar 7, you'll see that from the list view, the preview pane is going to show me a lot of the same information, but it's going to be displayed a little bit differently, not nearly as clean and efficient as it is here. And then when I click on show more, I'd already clicked on show more there. Just a much cleaner layout. And then here as I go through, much cleaner, more efficient, and a lot easier on the eyes as just going through. Much more modern interface. And another thing that I can do here is if I click on that pipeline view, and let's go directly into an opportunity, or if I want to go by pipeline by sales stage, let's go directly into an opportunity and we'll create a quote so you can see the product catalog that has been introduced into a create. So let's go to quotes, create quote. And this is the only part inside of Sugar 7-Eleven where it's the first time that that the intelligence page pane has been introduced into a create page. So I'm on the create quotes. I've got the sidecar here on my right, and I've got the product catalog. So product categories are going to be represented as folders and organized to reflect the structure of the customer's product category there. So if I click on any of those folders, it'll bring up the product categories. And if I click on any of this, if I click on this icon, it'll take me directly to that product page. It's going to drop down. And if I wanted to add that product directly to the quote from here, I can click the product and it'll bring over all the information directly into the quote. Excuse me. If I pop back over to searching the product catalog, I can also just search from here. So for example, Bristol will appear here, or if I just wanted to go, if I knew I wanted a rose and black gadget, I can just search for it and it'll bring it up automatically. Click on the folder and I can add any of the products from this, excuse me, from this product category. There's my Leisha gadget. Of course, from here, I can either group these two items together, I can comment on them, or I can add another line item from here. Click save. Let's see, gather. Obviously can't save because of the required fields. Other things, clicking the product name, immediately add the product to the quote displayed on the page, clicking the icon, making sure that I'm hitting all of the points here. Click, whoops, cancel out of there, confirm. So those are, so really quickly walking through, those are the three major features that have been added to Sugar 7-Eleven. First, you've got the entirely refreshed UI. It's been going from red and black on gray to white pretty much all around. the actionable drill throughs from the charts from the dashboard. So going here, number one was the quotes. Number two, the actionable drill throughs, creating the list views from here is the second major feature, and the third major feature, excuse me, is the interface, the actual drill throughs, and the product catalog dashlet. Catalog dashlet saves a lot of time when creating. Let's get back to creating a quote. This was asked for a while, creating the product catalog. I think it's one of the coolest features when you are creating a quote inside of Sugar. A couple other things that they've added. They also added, of course, if you're back on the dashboard, the view report, just quickly going back over. There's also some new email features that they added to Sugar 711. For example, explicitly related emails can be unlinked from the email subpanels of related records. Now, the email for this demo instance hasn't been configured, but we do have a blog post outlining all of the features that we went over today, in addition to some of the other updates that were made. Jesse, that was a really quick walkthrough. We've got about 10 minutes left here. Any questions that have come in so far?
Yeah, just questions about what the upgrade process is like. How does it work for people who are on previous versions, and is it automatic, or how does that process work? If
they're hosted on demand, you should have been upgraded by now. If you haven't been upgraded by this point, then I imagine there's a particular reason for it, probably to do with the customization, and you've put in a request for an extension. If you're hosted on site, as of last year, Jesse, they changed, if you'll recall, they changed the release schedule for upgrades for on-site customers, and they moved from a quarterly release schedule to an annual release schedule, where that's going to get released at the end of the year.
The other question is about backwards compatibility. Were there any modules that were backwards compatible that are no longer backwards compatible in 7.11?
I don't know the answer to that. I believe that there was one that was brought up to 7. Do you know the answer to that, Jesse?
I don't, but we can
sure.
get you.
Yeah, but we can follow up directly.
Can you also show how did you get to the product sidecar again? Product catalog?
Sure. So that's there automatically. So if I go back to the quotes module and I click create quote, or if I go to an opportunity to create quote, it's going to automatically be there.
Okay, great. And then there was a question on, resources or any guides that might have best practices on how to organize, like the main dashboard, the home page. How would you recommend people embark on that customization process?
Yeah, I mean, typically, I don't know if there's any documentation. I'm sure that there's lots of advice on building a dashboard. I think, generally speaking, dashboards are going to be catered to the type of user that's logging in. So here, for example, I'm logging in as Jim, sales manager. So my dashlets as a best practice are going to be looking at my team's sales numbers, their pipeline. A lot of these charts and dashlets allow you to toggle between your own numbers and your team's numbers. If I was logging in, for example, as a VP of support or a customer support representative, my dashboard would look a lot different, right? So here, as opposed to being a sales manager, I'm going to design a dashboard for me as a VP of support. It's going to be around cases and case management, cases that are open by priority. Here's my key cases. And I'm really just want to get a quick view from the dashboards or from the modules that I'm accessing most. So as a rule, best practice is the information that you're accessing most inside of Sugar should be front and center on your dashboard. And from a sales rep perspective, you want to be able to manage as many of your leads and opportunities and your activities from your dashboard. So if you go to, going back to my dashboard, typically speaking, I want to be able to have a quick view of all of my opportunities, my leads, and my active tasks. And because it's Sugar, you can have as many dashboards as you want. So you can also have a dashboard related to all of your activities. So you can just manage all of your tasks activities, meetings, and calls from a single dashboard. So that's generally speaking. As for best practices, there's lots of places you can go online. And if you wanted to have the conversation with me in particular, Jesse, I'd be happy to follow up.